right, here we go. We're doing it. We're just gonna do it. Hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, Chandie. Welcome back to the Chandie Speaks podcast. I'm using a different microphone right now. So, yeah, the sound quality is just iffy. I don't know how it sounds. Maybe I should see how it sounds right now. Hold on. Yeah, fuck it. I don't think it sounds great. So I'm using these new microphones because I'm having a lot of technical difficulties. Third week in a row, fourth week in a row. Welcome back, you guys. This ain't new for anyone who's been listening, but I have like technical difficulties every week now, it seems like. And I know this sounds like terrible. My car is running in the background. So it's so stupid hot here in Sedona right now. My car is saying it's 105 degrees, but really it's like 85 degrees. I guess it just feels like 105 degrees to my car, my van. I live in my van, so I've been outside all day. All day we've been just outside. I'm fortunate enough to work in the hospitality industry. I work at the bed and breakfast in the daytime, and my boss or the owner was kind enough to let me just like chill in their AC apartment. So that was nice, because it's literally like living in a metal box, and I have a dog. I can't be in this car legally. I can't be in this car when the car's turned off after 75 degrees. So it hasn't been 75 degrees consistently since February, probably March. Definitely not since I got back from Costa Rica. We had like a little cold week last week, and that was really nice because it rained a lot. Even got a little hail up in there. I'm sure you guys really, really want a weather report from Sedona. That's my life. This is my life right now. And right now, like, my biggest struggle is just being comfortable in this van at all, really, during peak hours. Like, I just cannot do it. I can't do it. So I work overnight. I work as a night auditor in a hotel here in Sedona, beautiful Sedona, Arizona. So when I get off work, I work overnight. So I get off work early in the morning. So I have like 3 or 4 hours before it starts getting too hot for me to even get comfortable to take a nap. So I feel like that's just how it's just going to be all summer long. Like I have to like plan my sleep schedule around the temperature of the day. Like it's only comfortable up until like about 70 degrees really in my van. Like if I want to be for real, I don't like being in the van when it's just uncomfortable. Heat wise, makes me really appreciate the winter. And before I got into van life, anyone who knows me for real knows I was never really a big snow or winter time. Hell, I was born in Chicago, and as soon as I was able to, I moved the fuck up out of there. Okay? So I don't really do well with the cold. But van life has made me really appreciate the cold. Over the last this is like my fourth van. So this time around, since 2021, like 5 years or so. I don't know how I sound. I'm sorry if this sounds like shit. I really am. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix the situation. Getting sidetracked. I actually totally forgot what the hell I was just talking about, because I just feel like the sound quality is just like not as good as it can be. It has been. I'm running out of space on my laptop, so I cleared up a lot of space on my laptop because it's not saving any of my recordings, like my long form recordings. I have to like make small recordings and piece them together versus like a long hour recording. So I cleared up a lot of space, and then my fucking charger doesn't work. Now the goddamn thing won't charge. It won't charge. So I had to order a new charger. I'm hoping that it's the charger and it's not that this computer is just like 10 fucking years old, 11 years old. I don't even remember when I got this computer. That's how old it is. It's a Chromebook laptop, and I originally got it for photography. I remember still being engaged when I had that laptop. Like, I remember being in that relationship while I had this laptop. So it's been a while. Uh, and I mean, I've never used it for anything other than media and videos and photography. So I have to clear up some space, and I'm hoping that this charger that I just ordered off Amazon, it's going to be here by next week. I'm hoping that it'll be able to charge the laptop. Otherwise, I'm just going to count my losses and probably just invest in a better laptop. It's probably time anyway. It's probably time. Let me just see how that sounds. I was talking only for 5 minutes, but this, it's just one of those things. All right, it doesn't sound great, but hey, maybe I'm just being too hard on myself. I remember what I was gonna say. So this is like my 4th van that I've been in, and like my full-blown 2nd time. I've been doing it for 5 years, and within these 5 years, anyone in van life, shout out to the van life community, wherever you are. It was a sort of a part of my lifestyle to like migrate with the seasons, because adapting to the environment just seemed like work. I guess from where I'm coming from, it just felt like I didn't feel like, I could probably pimp this out and get like a nice air conditioner, and then like pay for the batteries and the generators that'll make it very like comfortable in here. There's a bunch of fortunate people who are able to afford all that, but I have been, instead of doing that, instead of investing in what I would need to make it comfortable all year round, I've just been moving. I've just been migrating. Like this time last year I was in Georgia, right? What day is it? It's June 2nd. So this will be for June 3rd, Wednesday, June 3rd. Yeah, usually I'm in Colorado around this time of the year, but I try and move. Last year in Georgia was like a fluke, actually. Normally I am more north. I think one summer I did Chicago. One summer I tried to do Colorado. But so here right now in Sedona, I'm trying to settle down is what's happening. I'm trying to like plant some roots here and just like get acclimated to Sedona. And I knew this would be a struggle for me. I told you guys on my first podcast when I got back here in August that my main priority needs to be the very thing that I've been avoiding since I started the van life journey, which is pimping out this van. I'm still sitting in like a bare-boned box. And it is what it is. My priorities are just what they are. I've gone out of the country since I've done van life this time. I've gone out of the country 4 times, maybe 5, I forget. I'm losing count actually at this point. Which to me was just higher on the priorities than converting my van to like a comfortable dwelling space all year round. I'm like, I'm only working so I can go out of the country anyway, and I'll just migrate. But this is the first year where I'm trying to not migrate, where I'm just trying to stay here in Sedona. So I said all that to say that it's just going to be a brutal fucking summer. I'm really fortunate and grateful I got in right on time for these hospitality gigs that I'm working right now. I work the bed and breakfast in the daytime, and I do overnight night auditing at the hotel. And I'm fortunate for both of them because, yeah, it's made van life in the brutal fucking desert summer easier. Okay, this podcast is just going to be what it is because, as I've said before, I don't really have much going on in my life, you guys. I don't be outside. I mean, I'm outside, but I don't really be around people. I actually literally am outside, but spiritually, like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, don't talk to me. Only a certain kind of people are usually gravitated towards me, and it's never like anxious or pushy or abrupt or anything like that. It's always just like a natural, authentic connection. So I mean, I know it sounds like I'm just making excuses for avoiding people, but I really try and avoid people because I feel like the universe usually pushes the right people in my direction when I'm at peace with myself and I'm in my own little world. So anyway, nothing really happens. Do I have any crazy hotel stories this week? No crazy hotel stories. Oh, there's like a bunch of javelinas. I don't know if anyone are familiar with javelinas are. I just think it's crazy. I know this is not really interesting. I'm just trying to fill the space right now. But javelinas are like notorious in at least this part of Arizona. I'm not sure if it's everywhere. I have never seen a javelina or heard of it until I got here. It was like in 2022 or some shit. Probably around this time of the year. I was like parked somewhere. I think, where was it over? It was over some dispersed camping area. It was like, it looked like the middle of the desert, somewhere in Rim Rock, which is like not too far away from Sedona. I was just out, basically in the middle of it, like some dispersed camping area by myself. And I woke up to like my van. No, that was one other time. Man, a couple times it's happened where I woke up to my van being surrounded by javelinas. They were literally surrounding my van. And javelinas, I've heard them described as pig rats. That's a real description, someone has said. Pig rats. I call them little Pumbas because they kind of remind me of Pumbaa, the warthog guy from The Lion King. Y'all know, like, they kind of, except they don't have like the tusks or anything, but they kind of look like hairy, like pigs. But if you really look at them, they do kind of look like rats a little bit too. And they're blind. I guess they're blind too. Like, they can't see you. This one time, I woke up and there was like a bunch of, these are just my javelina stories, okay? They freaked me out at first because they fucking look so like, oh my God, you should be in the wild. I see them like running across the street, like in the city. They're just like running around like little like rats, but they look like pigs, pig rats. I think that's a slur. I think I think somebody gave a slur to these javelinas. You fucking pig rat. It sounds like a animal slur, if that's a thing. Like, yeah. So I remember there was like 6 or 7 of them, like all around my van. I don't know what they were digging at, but they were eating or like hunting for something around my van. And they're blind, so they probably had no idea that they were like digging at a van or sniffing or eating at a van, whatever the fuck was on the ground outside of my van. So I was like banging on my windows. I guess they're deaf too. They're probably not deaf, but they were definitely not intimidated by my big bangs on my door. I was like banging. I was like, hey, move the fuck out of the way. I even cracked my window and yelled at them, and they didn't move at all. They didn't even flinch. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna just y'all can have it. I'm gonna just wait for you guys to be done. I don't need to go anywhere. Like, because I was not about to get out, and who knows, right? I heard this one story. There's another javelina story where I was at the bar somewhere in Sedona. Which fucking bar was it? It was out in the village of Oak Creek, which is basically like a less bougie, less touristy side of Sedona. If you know, you know. And someone told me a story about this one tourist, this one hippy dippy chick, bless her heart, you know she gotta be a white lady, came to the bar and saw a javelina like walking around the parking lot in the middle of the night, right? And she thought, because she was just so in tune with nature, and maybe I told this story already, actually. I feel like when I heard this story, I must have talked about it. Anyway, she tried to like pet this. She thought that she could just like give this, I don't know, pet this javelina or have this javelina just come to her or something. And the javelina like was blind, so probably didn't even like see her, but crept up on her and bit her in the hand, and she was like freaking out. So, and that's a story that someone else told me about a javelina. I've never had any physical altercations with a javelina. Okay, here's another altercation. Here's another situation with a javelina, and then I'll get to the hotel. This is actually more interesting than the hotel story. But one time I was driving. I had just got off work really late at night. This was back when I was still working in the restaurant industry. And it was garbage day. I forgot what day it was. Different areas have different days where they pick up garbage. But it must have been a day where it was garbage day, because all the dumpsters were sitting, lined up down the street. And some of them were knocked over. I was driving down this one street, and some of the dumpsters were knocked over. And It was pitch black at night. It gets crazy pitch black here in Sedona because they're a dark sky. They pride themselves on being a dark sky community, so you can see like the stars and shit, stargaze. So I didn't see anything. I just saw a bunch of dumpsters, a couple dumpsters being knocked over in the street. And then it came out of nowhere because it was so pitch black and my lights are on. So I didn't see them until they were like maybe like 400 feet away from me. It was just like a group of javelinas gathered around a pile of garbage that was coming out of a dumpster that they must have knocked over. And it was in the middle of the street. And I got to the point where I got so close to them where like my lights were like bright on them and they didn't flinch. I'm driving and I had to like completely come to a whole stop. And like I had to honk my horn. That's what I did. I honked my horn and then they like ran out from the street. I was like, really? So they just don't give any fuck. They have no fucks to give, these javelinas. For the most part, they're tame, right? They only get aggressive from what I've heard. They only get aggressive when it comes to like their young ones. I don't know about that bitch who got bit. Maybe they thought she had food and she was just trying to like be like the javelina whisperer and prove that she can just pet a wild creature just walking. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't fuck with them. I wouldn't get close to them. They usually scurry away when I'm walking and I'm coming. They travel in packs too. They travel in groups. I hardly see one by themselves. That's the javelina story. I know that's really interesting stuff. But basically, this past week, it was just like an uptick in javelinas. Maybe it's their season. I don't know, mating season or something. I don't know. But they're walking all around the town in the middle of the night and the middle of the parking lot. And this week was just like, I had a lot of guests come to me and like freaked out. It's kind of funny to see because they're not from here, so they don't see it. I'm thinking I see it every day. They literally remind me of pig rats, you know, just like leave them alone and don't bother their kids. Don't feed them. Don't try and, you know, and they don't really care about you if you don't care about them. But these guests are coming and they're coming in from like Florida or like, you know, other countries, California or, yeah. And they've never seen these things. It's just funny to see. That's my hotel story for the week. We're just gonna move right along. I don't know how long this is gonna be. That's like the most interesting thing. I don't really fuck with wildlife like that. Don't really fuck with wildlife like that. I saw something come across my feed this week about, well, all the more reason why I know I need to step up my fact checking, because I find myself, what I tend to do, because I'm bouncing back between YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, which is really the worst. I really have been trying to pull back on getting my news and my information from TikTok, but it just happens. It's just what it is right now. I really actually miss the days where none of this shit existed and people just got their news the old-fashioned way. But when things come up in my feed and it sort of triggers me in a way, it doesn't have to be a good trigger or a bad trigger. It's just like, it just sparks some kind of feeling inside of me where I'm like, oh, either I want that to be true or I want that to be not true, or either fucking way. And I find myself reposting it before I'll actually dive into if it's true or not. Sometimes, not every single time. In this instance, I wanted it to be true so bad, I guess, for some reason, this fact, but I ended up fact checking it and it was wrong. And it was fucking wrong. They were close, but they were wrong. The post I saw, I should have screenshot I can't go online while I'm recording from this janky ass microphone. But I should have screenshot the post itself, but I did take notes on it this week. And the post itself was saying that Arizona, the state of Arizona, is the most single state in the United States. And I don't know why I wanted that to be true or not, or what I felt about it, but it made me want to go and dive in to see if that's true, because I'm in Arizona. Like, what could be the reason? If that's true, then why? You know? And it turns out Arizona is not the most single state. They're second. They're up there. They're number 2. Can you guess what it is? Can you guess? New Mexico. Yes, that's correct. New Mexico. 1 state over. I should have looked up why for that, but as long as it wasn't the state that I was in. New Mexico is the most single state in America, with 56.5% of the population being unmarried. And Arizona comes in at 52%. So the Post said that 52% of Americans, 52% of Arizonians are unmarried. That was true, but the part that was misleading or untrue was when it said that Arizona is the most single state, because 56.5% is higher, and that's New Mexico. They're taking that. So I did like a quick general Google search on that. I'm gonna just read through it just to fill in the space here. Yada yada yada. I thought it was a crazy fact. New Mexico holds the highest rate of unmarried adults in the country, with 56.5% of its population categorized as never married, divorced, separated, or widowed. Now, New York has the highest percentage of residents who have never married. Does that really surprise anybody? I don't think I was surprised to hear that. It probably wouldn't surprise you to hear who has with the most married people, who has like the lowest rate of single people. That's right, Utah. Most people in Utah are married. I think it was like 47% or some shit. New York has the highest percentage of residents who have never married, making up roughly 36% of the adult population. Then it goes into some other statistics. The highest percentage of singles. New Mexico leads the nation with 56.5% of its adult population unmarried, followed closely by states like Louisiana, Rhode Island, and Nevada. I wonder what that's about, though. I wonder what that all ties into. Maybe some kind of, I would like to believe like something simple, like economic struggle. Like, who wants to get into relationships when they can't afford to live, pay the bills? You'd be surprised at how many people actually still do that. But I digress. Never married. New York has the highest share of adults who have never been married, with 36% of its adult population in this category, and the highest ratio of single men. You guys want to know this? It didn't narrow down to a single state. It has a few states, which I thought was interesting. The highest ratio of single men, if you are looking at specific demographics, Alaska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Colorado, and Wyoming have the highest ratios of unmarried men to women in the country. And then the lowest unmarried rate, Utah, of course. Utah is the most married state in the nation, with the lowest percentage of unmarried adults, around 45%, and the highest marriage rate. And we all know what, maybe we don't. Maybe it could be, something entirely different from what I'm thinking. But that doesn't surprise me, really. Like, New York is the most unmarried state, or never married state, and Utah is the most married state. I think that's all the stats I got on that. That's all the stats I got on that. I thought that was interesting. Moving right along. I have having more technical difficulties per usual. I'm just over it. I really hope that I can just get this charger for this laptop, and that's all I need, because that was like a $20 buy right there. I don't really feel like buying another fucking computer right now. It was not in the plans, but I guess I should have had it in the plans, because they don't make things to last anymore. I just really miss my good microphones. We started from the bottom, now we here. Because you guys remember, I started this podcast just recording it from my phone. I'm still technically recording it from my phone. It's just this microphone, these little temporary microphones are just connected to my phone. But anyway, let me see if it'll let me play this while I talk. All right, and of course, this microphone is crapping out on me right now. I guess it doesn't hold a charge for long. It was fully charged before I started recording, and now it's like I don't know what's going on. I guess it's charged, but it's not working. It won't let me look at any screenshots that I didn't save outside of my photos. So if I open my photos, it stops recording. If I open up any app, it stops recording. If I go online, it stops recording. And right now, like, I'm just recording normally without the microphone, so that's why this bootleg ass episode just sounds the way it sounds. But I'm totally doing all of those things right now. I'm online, I'm clicking away. It's just, you know, poor investment. Maybe I should send it back. It was on Amazon. You know how Amazon is with their return policy. It's really fucking good. So I'm just going to push through. I'm really going to push through this. I feel kind of like weird now. I'm like going back to the roots. I'm going back to my roots where it's like, I started doing it from the voice recordings this way on my phone. And then I moved up to the nice microphones. And now I just feel like I've just been spoiling myself. And when I record you guys don't care about this shit. When I record the podcast off of like my phone, like how I am right now, it doesn't like generate any chapters for the episode. It doesn't like has a transcript for the episode. It just like it doesn't capture any of my words. Even if you guys can hear it crisp and clear, like Spotify doesn't hear it crisp and clear. They're just like, oh, this is just some girl recording a voice recording off of her phone, and they can totally tell. They won't give you any kind of credit or anything for the episode, or any like AI overview or anything like that. So it is what it is. I'll give the microphones, like, when I first started recording, my car has been running this entire episode. So I'll give it like the quality of it not picking up. Hopefully it hasn't picked up any of my car. It sounded like it wasn't. The quality of that. But once, 30 minutes? Bro, 30 minutes is like, come on. This isn't for content creators. This is for, I don't know, people who are new to this, I guess. I'll just invest in something better. But I made a post. I'm just going to get into this post that I made on TikTok, because I don't really be making posts like that anymore. I don't be stirring the pot. I don't really have I don't really care about the pot. You guys can stir it yourselves. But sometimes I'll feel like, I don't know what made me want to make this post. I think something came across my feed and it sounded nice, and I did some research, and I just like reworded it and made it like TikTokable, and it kind of took off relatively to some of my other posts. It had almost 100 likes. It had 97 likes. I just checked it right before I started recording, so this was like a few moments ago, and over 1,300 views. I know that's like small numbers, but I don't really TikTok like that. And that was my hand accidentally closing the recording. I don't really talk like that. I think it's weird. Like, I have like 50 followers on Instagram, but people like my shit. So like, I don't get how people like stuff, but they don't follow you. I don't know. I guess I'm not really too concerned about getting follows more than I'm getting likes, and I guess it shows in my numbers. But the post that I made, I'm just going to get into this post, read some of the comments, and then I'm going to get into my J. Cole weekly fall-off review, and that'll be it. This is a short episode. I know it is. Pretty boring stuff here. Smoking the last bit of my fucking weed. It was hot as balls. I turned my car off, so I don't really have much time to finish this out anyway before the sun's going down, but still got like an hour. All right, the post that I made says that unlimited porn access, absolutely. Okay, I should actually read what I actually wrote, because I think a part of me was trying to reach the youngins, the youths, because I don't talk like this. Now reading it back right now is like my first time reading it back. These are my first time actually going through the comments. I don't actually respond to people. I just kind of just make the post for myself. And for the likes, obviously. But I don't talk like this. The way that I phrase this, I could have phrased it in a way where I've reached a different demographic of people, but I don't know what made me like phrase it like this and rewording it from the original way that it was written, where I read it from. I said, unlimited corn access absolutely cooked an entire generation of men. That's the post. I've never talked like that. But it got some feedback. It got some comments. I'll read it again. Unlimited corn access absolutely cooked an entire generation of men. I think it's weird that we have to go and I don't know. This is the time we're living in where we kind of have to like self-censor ourselves in order to like get a message across. There's so many other things so many other examples, but yeah, that's just weird. I don't talk like that. But I guess for anyone who's not like 25 or younger and you don't know what that means, I'm going to translate it for you. Unlimited corn access. So unlimited porn access is what I was, meaning with that. Unlimited porn access absolutely ruined an entire generation of men. I'm pretty sure that's what cooked means. Like, I don't think it's a good thing, but maybe it is. I sound so fucking old right now. Dude, I totally forgot my age the other day, too. I feel like I'm either 36 or 37. One of those two, I forget. But I literally don't talk. I hear people say, oh, they're cooking. Let them cook. Totally going off a rail right now. I don't care. Let them cook like that's a good thing. And then I heard like, oh, you're cooked, like that's a bad thing. So I don't know when it's a verb, when it's a noun. I don't understand it, but so let me just read these comments. I guess in this post it was pointing to it being not a good thing. And I haven't read these comments. Only 12 comments, not too many, but it's a public post. If you are not, most people are not following me. I don't know why people don't follow, but they'll come and they'll comment and they'll like my shit and they'll repost it. They'll save it. They'll do all those things, but they won't follow a bitch. And I just don't understand. Like, they're like, you don't deserve a follow. Okay. But it's Chandie Speaks on TikTok. Rosie says, having a wide variety of staple crops does lead to a more balanced diet. That was actually the top comment. Most people liked that comment. 16 likes on that comment. I didn't like it, but I don't understand. I kind of do. I don't know what she means by that. Having a wide variety of staple crops does lead to a more balanced diet. And then someone responded, thank you for this comment. It was a top comment. I just, I don't know. I don't actually know where I stand on it. Do I want to get into that conversation right now? I really don't get into that. I don't know. I brought it up. I made the post. I feel like porn was created to do exactly what it's doing, which is kind of, I think it's ruining men and women, both men and women watch porn. And I think that was the point of it all. Maybe it was just trying to desensitize you, or I don't know. Did I take notes on this? Did I actually look this up other than the comments before I get into these comments? I think maybe I did take notes on it. Where's the fucking notes at? Okay, I'm gonna just do the general. Should I read the general notes from Google that I have? It says unrealistic expectations and dysfunction. I haven't even read through these. I just remember I just screenshot them and just tried to put something together that was relevant to the post that I made, which was inspired from somebody else's post in my feed. I'm so unorganized with all this. Wasn't ready for all this. But this general Google search says unrealistic expectations and dysfunction. Exposing developing brains to extreme or highly curated pornography creates an unrealistic physical and performance expectations. That's what it is. See, they said the words that I really wanted to say. Yeah, it's unrealistic expectations. Physical and performance expectations. This desensitization has been clinically linked to a documented rise in performance anxiety and erectile dysfunction among younger men. There we go. Here's some receipts here to help back up that. I feel like, yeah, I didn't need to look it up. I feel like that's probably fact. I don't think I even need to look it up, but I'm glad I did. Totally, as the kids are saying, cooked an entire generation of men. I guess it sounds cooler to say cooked than ruined. Maybe ruined is kind of harsh, but cooked sounds kind of bad too when you say it. I don't know. You say it like that. Okay, I'm gonna read more. Dehumanization. A dehumanization of intimacy. So habitual consumption often conditions men to view women through an objectified, fantasy-based lens rather than as full human beings. Get the fuck out of here. This frequently leads to social awkwardness, an inability to form deep emotional bonds, and difficulty building mutually satisfying, respectful real world. I feel like porn is probably why we have all these beta males out here. Not necessarily beta males, but they're awkward. Even if they're not beta males, let's say they're taking care of themselves, they got their own, their shit together, but they still don't know how to talk to women. And I'm just like, you probably watch a lot of porn. Now that I think about it, you probably have no idea how to talk to women. You just know how to talk in porn talk, I guess. And when are men really in those situations in real life? Really? Like your delivery at DoorDash, and then the girl's like, oh, can you come over here and set it on the table? The DoorDash guy gets lucky. That never happens. So I get that. It's a dehumanization of intimacy. They also say, or Google also says, normalization of coercion. Am I saying this right? Coercion? Exposure to highly aggressive or extreme themes in mainstream porn can distort a viewer's understanding of consent, leading to an increase in aggressive behaviors or unrealistic demands during consensual sexual encounters. That makes sense as well, but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you should have some common sense. I don't really deal with aggressive behavior, but I do come across a lot of men who just don't know how to talk in general, and it's probably because they watch a lot of porn. Just saying. Many psychologists now classify this overexposure as a public health issue. The widespread recognition of these patterns has sparked a growing cultural backlash, with many young men actively choosing to reboot their brains by completely abstaining from internet erotica to reclaim their natural capacity for intimacy. Oh, yeah, we need to get back to that. I don't know. And I feel like this is all by design. It's all by design with men and for women. And it perpetuates. We help each other just keep ourselves in this cycle where we're not making babies. We're unmarried. We're single. Half of the fucking state being single is crazy. And I'm not even just talking about Arizona, because it's not really as dense as places like New York, but New York is crazy fucking dense, and 40% of those people have never been married, never had kids, divorced, separated, none of that. It's weird. Okay, so now that we have some kind of backstory on that, is that all the notes I have on that? Yeah, those are all the notes I have on that. I watch porn from time to time, okay? I watch porn from time to time, but I probably wouldn't if it were a big fucking hassle to get to. They are banning it in some states. Places, I definitely, I remember that time in Georgia. Probably last time I tried to do it in Georgia, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna head out. Just kidding, but hey, that's the reality of some states. They're banning it in some states, or they're just kind of making it like a big hassle to get through. And I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I don't need all that stuff. It probably shouldn't be legal. I don't know. I'm not a lawmaker. What do I know? But it probably shouldn't be legal. I don't know. There's voyeurism. There's people who like watching other people. I don't know, at what point does it cross like an art form to just, it's just gross, or it's just excessive, really. Maybe we should just not have so many categories and so many options. It's getting crazy out here, you guys. God bless this conversation. Let me just read these comments and get on out of here. I think I rambled long enough. I'm getting hot. It's 7 o'clock right now. I've been trying to record this podcast all goddamn day. So the post, read it again. It says, unlimited porn access absolutely cooked an entire generation of men. And we already read Rosie's comment about having a wide variety of staple crops does lead to a more balanced diet. I feel like, okay, that was clever, but I don't know. Maybe she was just trying to be clever, or not necessarily promoting unlimited access to porn. How does having a wide variety of porn access lead to a more balanced life, or, sexual appetite, or is the question I think I should be asking. How? I'm really interested. I'm not trying to disprove it or anything. I really want to know how. Because it's fun to watch, but it doesn't feel right when I watch it. It really doesn't. Here I am preaching again. Move on to the next comment. Danny Guapo. This is a public post. Danny Guapo writes, "It takes two." And I didn't know what he meant by that, and I'm glad someone responded. Megan responded, "What does that even mean in this context?" And then Caden T responded to that saying, "I think they're trying to blame the porn stars." Blaming the porn stars. Does that make sense? Blaming the porn stars for the men being cooked? But I guess if he's saying it takes two, then he's talking just about the women porn stars. There's man porn stars there that are also helping cook the generation. Dude, I know a guy. I ain't gonna say his name. But I know a guy who was, from what everyone knew, he was a heterosexual man. And right around the time after high school, he got into porn. And he started while doing straight porn, and then he switched over to gay porn. He said because it pays more. Yeah. So, and I'm like, I was probably like 18 or 19 at the time. The guy was probably a couple years older than me. We went to the same high school. I'm not going to give too much information, but he got into porn. He got into gay porn as a heterosexual male. And I didn't believe it until I saw videos of him doing gay porn. And I'm like, I would never think that someone who was this heterosexual, or at least heterosexual presenting, that's what the kids are saying, as he was, to do something. To me, initially, I feel like I was like, how it feels like you're selling your soul a little bit, because you know that you're not gay, or maybe the very slight chance that he was gay the whole time, but he was really fucking straight. Okay, guy was like a bodybuilder, guy did sports, he had bitches in school, you know what I mean? Like, he was a young little cute guy. And he got into gay porn, I guess, out of desperation. It must have been something. He said his reason was because it pays more. He wanted to get into... The fact that he felt like he wanted to get into porn, that's a whole different thing. He's got probably some trauma to work through. But that's not the only case where that happened. That's just the only one that I know about personally. And I'm sure, and I know for a fact, that it happens a lot of the fucking time. So men are also helping cook the generation of men. If you're talking about blaming it on the porn stars, just saying. 'Cause what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that about? Someone responded to, I think they're trying to blame the porn stars. Gothic Barbie doll says, "Nah, supply and demand, buddy. Who's demanding it?" Exactly. Matriarchitect responded to them saying, "Only two. no audiences. We weren't supposed to see others doing it, which I feel like that's true. I feel like if you want to do all this kinky stuff, like, I don't think everyone's supposed to be watching it. Maybe, like, can you imagine a world where it's only like, you go, if you want to like have like a quick release and you go and try and look up some porn online, that you either have like heterosexual sex, gay sex between a woman, gay sex between a man, and then, and like, I think that's like, that's the only option. I'm not talking about like crazy shit. Like, it should only just be just some regular fucking shit, some vaginal or some anal intercourse or some oral intercourse. All this extra shit, we're getting a little crazy. I feel like I shouldn't be talking about this, so, and God bless this conversation. God bless this whole conversation. But I'm trying to wrap my head around the generation of just at least Americans right now. I'm kind of flabbergasted at it all, that that we're all just kind of, it feels like we're declining in a way. There's some who are elevating, but it's not many. Not many men have discipline over their seed, and not many women take accountability for themselves. But I guess we'll just keep moving on. 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝘀 writes, I made some, actually this is a dumbass comment. Some people made comments about corn specifically. I'm not going to read it. You know what we're talking about. I can't pronounce their name. 𝙗𝗙𝗾𝗏 posted a picture of Epstein. Living Jins F4 said they knew it would, which is the only comment that I actually liked, because it was all by design. They wanted to cook everybody. They wanted to ruin generations of men, make them dehumanize people and disassociate from reality and real intimacy. And yeah, they knew it would. That was the best comment. I liked it. Xenon writes, I thought this was about actual corn for a solid minute. Oh, really? I thought this was about actual corn. Sitting here confused. Okay, well, welcome to the internet. Dragon Roll says, yup, it sure did finally something that makes sense on this app. Someone's agreeing. Majik writes, it's GMO and causes IBS. I don't know what that means. I think they're talking about actual corn. These are dumbass comments. CJ the Glow 01 writes, low key, I think it saved everyone a lot of trouble and time. Now these young men can prioritize an agreeable and pleasant partner over one that merely provides sexual gratification, and these young women won't have to have sex with them as much. They go on to say, well, Chloe Christina responds to that comment saying, so in other words, ruining intimacy is saving people? Like, sorry, but sex isn't something only men want. Lots of us need a good intimacy connection with our partner as well. But if that partner is so lost in what performative/fake intimacy is, how are they supposed to connect with someone for real? I'm kind of not following this conversation, but CJ the Glow responds to them saying, on the contrary, it's saving intimacy by allowing young men to not be blinded by lust when they are approaching a relationship, and not settle for venomous women just because she has a coochie. I feel like this sounds like like they're trying to make an excuse to keep pornography. They're low-key, I think it saved everyone a lot of trouble and time. Let me just reread it. Young men can prioritize an agreeable and pleasant partner over the one that merely provides sexual gratification. So they're basically saying because porn is there, now a man can choose to prioritize a better partner over a porn star. First of all, I don't think bro has a choice. Is that what they're trying to say? And then second of all, I'm like, why would you need to put the porn there just to entice the man to be good? Or I don't think that was the purpose at all. I don't think it's saving anyone. It's saving everyone from reproducing and procreating, probably saving people from having meaningful connections. There's none of that anymore. I think she's just talking out of her ass. They didn't respond. No one else responded to that, but bless their heart. Almost done with this post. Mr. Pot Scraper writes, "That's why I eat Cocoa Pebbles. Fuck this guy." Fuck all the people who wrote corn and tried to be funny on this post. This is a serious topic, but okay. 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝘀𝙀, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. They wrote, "Not really. They act how they want to. My husband watched corn and had the same access. He ain't a weirdo. Married to a provider and child-free. Never even raised his voice at me and treats me like an individual. These men act how they want to act. It doesn't take a lot to not be an asshole. They want to blame their behavior on everyone else but themselves. Don't settle, ladies, and stay safe." That was a nice comment. I don't know. I didn't like it, but it's a nice comment. Void Destroyer 3000 writes, "And women set the system up." Did we, though? Did women set the system up? And, I tried to search that. I cannot for the life of me. I know Candace Owens talks about this. Shout out to Candace Owens, if she listens. But I know she talks about this because I remember hearing it. I don't even know. I tried to track back the creators of porn and how it all started and the reasoning and all this stuff. And the best I can get was like some fucking guy. I think he was a writer or a fucking poet or something who created porn or made it popularized it. I'm pretty sure Candace Owens talks about it, saying that with the intention to ruin Christianity, I think. I'm paraphrasing as a fuck. Could not find any evidence of that online, by the way. I gotta go back to those episodes from her. My phone is getting low. I gotta get out of here. But no, I don't think women set the system up. Matthew writes, "Corn kind of gets a bad rap, but it has been a staple for a long time in the Americas." These are actually all the hidden comments. These comments were not, I guess they were automatically hidden by TikTok, probably because they're not providing anything to the conversation. Tony writes, "And then social media ruined women. The internet was genuinely a psyop to destroy several generations." That I agree with. I'm actually going to... I agree with the second half. I don't know if social media ruined women. I think we're all kind of just going down with the ship, I feel. Danny writes, "Yep, has ruined my marriage, a couple of them." I don't know if she's been married multiple times. I don't know if she had to add that last part in. But porn ruined her marriage. Lunar Hunter writes, "Funny how corn ruined men, but OnlyFans and the like, quote, empowered women." I think it's because of that, though. It's because porn is ruining men that it empowers women. Because now women, I guess, are feeling empowered to ruin a man. They're like, we're cooked anyway. Might as well profit off of it. "It ruined it for the women they sleep with," says Random BVR. I think those are all the relevant comments. I'm almost over it. Matt Williams 2156 writes, "They banned it in Texas. The generation of men are chasing peace and solitude. The women didn't get the memo, unfortunately." Okay, and then user 2892 with a bunch of other numbers that I'm not going to read says, "They did not ban it in Texas. Also, safeguards are easy to bypass with a VPN." All right, and on that note, last comment. Sadly, it's me again, writes, "Right, because boys were saints before." All right, that's enough of that. hopefully it doesn't stop recording while I get into my listening stats for this week. It's the 2nd. So, yeah, if you're not a J. Cole fan, move on along. And you know what? That's the end of the podcast for you. I really think that Drake is like making a nice little comeback here in my little playlist. I know I dedicated 2026 to J. Cole. And I was like, if you're going to, I said it, if you want me to listen to new music, you're going to have to wait till 2027. But I made an exception for Drake, and there's this one song in particular. I have not checked my stats yet. I'm still betting that my numbers are still going to say the fall off. I still bump the fall off every day. I bump it right before I go into work and right after I get off work. And then during my shift, I bump a playlist of J. Cole and Drake. It's like 12 hours long. Like 9 of those hours is J. Cole. And the other 3 hours are Drake. That's what it's been like this past week. So there's one song in particular on the 𝘗𝗫𝙗 album. I want to give my props to that song. It's Whisper My Name. That had a couple times this week where I put it on repeat. Like I heard it 3 times back to back, a couple times this week. So it might be in my top listen to songs this week. It's a great song. Makes me feel good. I don't really want to be reporting on other hip hop news because I guess this is like partially like a hip hop podcast at this point. At least since February, since the fall off came out, I've been reporting my numbers every week on my listening stats from Spotify. So yeah, it's not the only reason why I guess I'm listening to Drake is because he fucks with J. Cole. I know Jay-Z had some news this past week, but when have you guys ever heard me give a fuck about Jay-Z? I'm not going to start now just because it has something to do with Drake, just because he has something to do with J. Cole. Okay. He's not directly as, like, I don't even think he's fucking with J. Cole anymore. He kind of is. But, yeah, apparently Jay-Z had some news out. I don't really care to report it. Let's just get into my numbers. It is the 2nd. So these numbers are going to be from May 25th through May 31st. It's the last week of May. So my top artists from May 25th to May 31st, obviously it was J. Cole at number 1. Number 2 is Drake. And 3 is Future. Number 4 is Dreamville. And 5 is Bass. And that's only, Future, Dreamville, and Bass are only there because they're all on the fall off, except Dreamville. I think I listened to a couple of Dreamville songs this week specifically, which is J. Cole. So it's been J. Cole all day and night. Now my top songs for the week from May 25th to May 31st. Oof. Yeah, we made it, baby. They're all from the fall off. Ooh, I was kind of nervous. I was hoping, I'm like, man, please don't ruin my streak of J. Cole in the fall off with some Drake. Respectfully, it's a great song. It's only been that one song I've had on repeat. Really, one song is worth repeating. The beat goes crazy. Bro, the beat goes so crazy. I look up the instrumental of Whisper My Name on YouTube, and it goes fucking insane. It's a great beat. It's really well put together. Love that song, Whisper My Name. But I'm kind of glad that I'm really happy that it didn't make my top 5 this week. It's all from the fall off. You all already know what time it is. All from the fall off. We have 33 plays at number 1 with Bombs in the Ville. I bumped up my Bombs in the Ville this week. I remember I took a nap with it on repeat one of these days. 38 plays this week with Bombs in the Ville / Hit the Gas. 13 plays with 39 Intro at number 2. Number 3 was 2-6 with 13 plays. The rest are like 13 plays. So I think I listened to the fall off 13 times this week. Full ways all the way through. And yeah, so number 2 was 39 Intro. Great song. Probably the best lyrical song on the fucking album. Love that fucking song. That beat goes crazy too. Oh my God. The 39 Intro instrumental goes crazy. It's so good. It's so incredible, actually. This is a hip-hop masterpiece. Number 3 was 2-6 with 13 plays. Number 4 was What If with 12 plays. And then number 5 was Bunts Road Blues with Future. 12 plays. Those are all from the fall off. All right. Thank you guys for bearing with me this week. I gotta put these clips together. The sound quality is going to be iffy. It is what it is. And then edit it. And then I actually have to take a little nap before I go into work tonight. And I'll see you guys next week.